Hello. So, on the topic of whether or not, because I've thought about it a lot, whether or not I was even actually in love with the person, I've given a lot of thought. And I've given it a lot of thought to all of us, like we as a people, whether we really were ever in love with them. I've given it a lot of thought. And I've come up with it's impossible that we were ever in love with them. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, as we know, them to whom we refer don't even exist. It was a fake person, right? That's not even the good part. So of course you can't love them. They're not even real. So what you think you loved was a masked person that wasn't real, right? Also, during the time that they are trying to get you to love them, what are they doing? We've talked about it forever. Love bombing us, right? We're becoming addicted to the whole cycle. We love it. We love the endorphins we get when he's love bombing us. We get addicted to the adrenaline we get if we're in the fighting stages. There's cortisol. There's all dopamine. There's all kinds of chemicals. I made videos on that already that we get addicted to. Well, if somebody's addicted to something, I don't think that means that they love it. There's a difference. Somebody's addicted to gambling. They might say, oh no, I love it too. But I doubt it. I bet they could stop if they wanted to. I bet if they could stop, they would. They don't want to lose their house gambling. So they don't love that, but they're addicted to it. So I think they hook us. That's what they do. They make us get addicted to them with the cycle. And then we are trauma bonded as they take us through highs and lows. You get trauma bonded to that individual, which can be stronger than love. It's rooted in their dysfunction. They give you this big dramatic fight scene, and then they do something good for you. You're elated. You're elated. You're so happy that then you'll put up with the next fight because they made the good so good. Then there's the next fight. Then they're going to do it again. So you're on a cycle with them. That's a trauma bond. Good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. And you never know what they're going to be or what mood they're going to be in. So you're shifting through that. Is that love or is that addiction? Do you even get a chance to know the person, to know if you love them? No, absolutely not. We don't. We know that. We know the real person is, they don't even know themselves, first of all. But we know the real person is not who they pretended to be during love bombing. We know that. And that's who you think you love. So when I think of this topic, and I called him before my 5% guy. For those of you that maybe didn't see that video, I made that a long time ago. The 5% guy, the guy during love bombing, the 95% of the real him was all ugly and I hated him. Told him right out. And I don't like the word hate. My mother didn't like us to use it. We usually used to be little kids running around looking up in the dictionary. I abhor you. I detest you. She just didn't like the word hate. No, I'm saying it right out. I hate that guy. But the 5% of the guy was lovely. But that's not him. So was I in love? I was in love with the 5% guy who's not real. I wasn't in love with my narcissist. No. No matter how good it was, when it was good, no matter how much, oh, but you don't understand how we felt in the chemistry. Yes, I do. We all do. They do that on purpose. It's a manipulation. I think back on times and I even wonder if my narcissist even felt anything. Just going through the motions, I could have been anybody. Could have been anybody. Anybody. So is that love? So this is why I told you I give it a lot of thought. This is why I land on it has to be impossible. How can you be in love with someone that you don't know who they are and you've seen two sides of them, one that you never want to see again, and one that you can't get enough of, that you're addicted to because he made it part of an unhealthy cycle. Like, the whole thing is impossible. And, so listen to this. People have been talking about love for centuries, writing about it, singing about it, plays, wars are fought over it, everything, right? Well, I looked up in the Merriam-Webster dictionary under the definition of love. There's thousands of definitions and everything. But I kept strolling. Do you know what they list as an antonym to the verb love? Because, love can be a noun, love can be... Okay. To the verb, a verb antonym. I'm looking at it right now. Disvalue. Is that not heavy? That blew me away. They devalue us as part of their cycle. If the antonym to love in Merriam-Webster, which has been around, it says, since 1828, if they list the antonym as the very thing that they are doing to us in the bad cycle, disvalue, I'm reading it, then how could they love us? So they're not loving us either, which we already know that. So there's no love anywhere. They're doing the literal, I'm reading it, opposite of love to us. The literal opposite. And we want to know if we really love this person. As you go forward and you compartmentalize this relationship in your brain and you develop a narrative for yourself, if part of your narrative is starting to sound or was starting to sound like, I did love him, I really was, boy, I understand that you want a way to express how strongly he made you feel about him, right? Start calling him the 5% guy. I have no problem admitting that I was head over heels in love with the 5% guy. I know the 5% guy's not real. He was a character he was playing. If I could find that character that he was playing when he was good, which was for a very short time, he got bad very fast. Very fast. But when they're that good, start saying it that way or figure out your way to say it. But don't just put that on yourself and carry for the rest of your life. Because I think once we say we love them so much, we want to honor that. We want to maintain that was true somehow. We don't want to think about ourselves that we put all that into it, that we thought we felt all that, we said all that, we expressed all that, and nope, it wasn't true. You want to think your feelings went somewhere. They were real that you felt. They just weren't about a person that was real. Which that makes it impossible to love that person. It's impossible for me to say, I love and pick a fictional character from a TV show. Do you know what I mean? As much as I sat there and watched The Practice and said, I love Dylan McDermott, obviously I don't know him. And the character he played, Bobby O'Donnell, I don't know him. He's fake. It's the same thing. They're fake. They're that fake. We don't know them. The person you know is not real. So I want you to leave or exist in the, in the relationship with your head held high. You didn't do anything wrong. You gave it your all. You felt like you loved them. You did. You did. You were feeling like you did. But we didn't really. Because it was the manipulation and the addiction that they were creating that made us feel that way. You didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong to feel those feelings of euphoria. But were they love? Love is much deeper than what we feel for the narcissist. Love is much deeper than what we feel. That is a superficial, come in fast, whirlwind. That love is much deeper than that. And it takes time and energy and getting to know each other, and they're supposed to appreciate you and you appreciate them and you cherish each other and you spend time getting to know each other and you have the same values, and you know what I mean? I'm looking. A verb synonym is value. As I said, value. You know, that's what love is. And everyone has a different definition of love. But I think if you go back and look at even the beginnings of your courtship when you really thought, yep, this is the guy, I'm in love, I bet you can find things that make you realize it wasn't. Getting hit between the eyes with a whirlwind romance and being swept off your feet can feel fabulous. I don't think it doesn't mean you're in love. But we start out with that rush and we're already there. The dopamine is already there. So it's primed to make you think you were in love. Maybe your new narrative is, you know what, I thought I was. I thought I was when he presented himself in a certain way. And then I realized, no, I absolutely couldn't have been. It's kind of a relief. Because when I felt still like I was like, but I love him, that's when I felt like I didn't want to abandon that. Because I don't abandon people I love. I'm a very loyal person. I have friends in my life that I've had since I was little. Like, I don't let go easy when I love somebody. Friends, family, whatever, right? So same thing with a partner. You said you loved them. You told them that. You told them they could count on you. So it was important for me to prove to him that I meant what I said. So it was like, I wanted my narrative to continue to be, well, we can't be together because you're dysfunctional, but you know I'll always love you. You know I love you. You know I love you. Well, that didn't go on for very long. I didn't say that to him for months and months and months before I finally stopped talking to him. He would say it all the time. I stopped cold because I realized I don't think I do love him. How could I, for all the reasons I just mentioned? But you see, I do think about it a lot. I don't want anyone getting stressed out thinking they have to carry that for the rest of their lives. But I loved him. Like, you're afraid to let it go. I was afraid to let it go. Because I identified so strongly to him that I would be someone that would be there for him and love him, that he could count on, even if it were just as a friend. So I was abandoning all that. But I felt comfortable with it once I realized all the things that I just explained to you. They draw us in with all of that addiction cycle and all those chemicals that they feed us. And then they play with us like a cat with a toy, with the trauma bond, up, down, up, down, up, down. So now you're addicted to that. None of it's nice. No, I don't love a person like that. That's not caring. That's not anything to do with what I associate with love, is not their behavior. So I was okay with abandoning the thought that I had been in love with him. I thought I was in love. Nope. I talk about it like that. Like, it's not a big, heavy thing that I carry. It's not a weight I carry with me. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like that. I don't refer to it like that. I think of it as a learned lesson. I thought I was in love. I wasn't. I don't have any feeling about it other than that now. Because if you hang on to the fact that, like, no, but I really did love him. I really, really, I do. I really do. I did. That's where you're going to vacillate. It helped me. It relieved me to know that I just loved that 5% guy. That's it. Who's fake. It was the way that I thought about it to help propel me forward out of the misery of thinking you're still in love with them, but you can't have them. Because that's a horrible place to reside. I was there for a while. I love him so much I can't have him. Why isn't he choosing me? Why is he choosing that life? Why can't he see what's in front of him? Let me do more overdoing. Let me do more overloving. Let me do more so he can see. No. No. When you let it go, when I finally let it go, there was a relief. And I said, no, I don't love him. Not at all. I love the 5% guy, the fake guy. The fake guy is who I loved. So give yourself some time to think that through. And maybe if you land on, you know what, I really don't love him either. Maybe you'll be able to get the courage to get out of there. And remember, the opposite of love, according to Merriam-Webster, is disvalue. It's very close to devalue, which is what they do to us. That really threw me over the edge, like, wow. Do you know what I mean? They're doing the opposite to us. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. So take that into consideration. Maybe you'll arrive at the same place and you'll be like, you know what? I really don't like look at them. I was unattracted to my narcissist by the end. With all of the stuff that he does, you want to come at me now with what you just did? I wasn't even attracted to him. I was turned off. I was disgusted that I even went there. You know? It's okay to go there. I don't feel disloyal to my loyal self who was going to be loyal to him. I think that's how I felt, like I was going to, be disloyal to that girl. I don't feel disloyal. No. With all the things he did, I changed my mind. You're not who you thought. Oh, I thought. That's it. I don't love you. It could bring you some relief if you think about it and decide. It might be sad. It's like mourning the loss of the love. I had to go through that too. It was sad. I was sad realizing, wow, none of it was real. Not even for me. It was just a staged manipulation to make me think that I was in love. The whole thing was just one big... But then I released it, and now I'm okay with that. Just ask yourself the question. Look at him. Look at her. Think about how they were with you. Is that someone you actually loved? Your answer might be no. I'm sorry, it might be. Or you might have something, maybe, I don't know. The answer for me is, it's impossible for me to say that I loved him. I don't even know him. So just think about it.